and there's a lot of exciting things to talk about regarding Tron and the way that this technology has been moving forward. I think that it's very obvious at this point to see the fact that decentralized platforms are really the hallmark of the future. In the future, we're going to be seeing these decentralized alternatives probably outperforming their competitors. If you look at a lot of the simple problems that are happening, in particular with websites like Twitter and so forth, they're having a lot of problems with censorship, and not only that, but there's multiple layers of problems that are coming into the way when it comes. I mean, you obviously see all the things that are happening with Facebook in the news, and all the different things that have been developing in regards to the way that information is shared on the internet. So when a technology like Tron is rising up with this sort of decentralized web basically as their mission, it's definitely interesting. Tron is one of those technologies that's definitely in Tron's definitely in one of its early stages as far as the development goes, and when it comes to really seeing what's the potential for Tron, it's going to sort of start to manifest itself as we see the product, as we see Tron interacting in the real world with the ways that I mean, currently we have Steemit, we have DTube, we have these decentralized alternatives to YouTube and Google, and they already exist. They've already been launched and they're already active and people are using them. And fundamentally what's going to happen as we see Tron move into those stages is where well, there's an increasing demand for this sort of decentralized component when it comes to these technologies, and moving forward and seeing the potential that's in the works for Tron. So there certainly is the demand, and the and of course what happens is these websites, I mean, you look at DTube, and really what's happening with it right now is it's getting over that hump where it's sort of a new technology, and it has to have that built-in audience base that's already on all these other technologies. But what we're seeing is celebrities and so forth, they get kicked off of Twitter, they get kicked off of all these different platforms, and then they move over to DTube and they bring their audience with them. So there's a lot to be said in regards to all these different things, and these platforms like Twitter are becoming more and more unfriendly with their user base, which is ultimately going to lead to their demise. Now, I like Twitter, I like YouTube, I like Google, I like using them, and I wish that they would continue doing what they originally started doing, which is providing the service without getting themselves involved in getting in their own way, because I think once they start micromanaging what the viewer is watching, well, sooner or later they're going to see the audiences migrating to other platforms. So when it comes to a technology like Tron, I'm definitely excited. There's certainly a future. There's a roadmap that's set out for Tron, and I think around this next month we will start to see a lot of the developments. I particular have a lot of faith in Justin Sun. I would recommend that everybody go and follow Justin Sun on his official Twitter and so forth. Definitely, Twitter is a really great resource to gain information regarding these technologies. I'd also recommend, if you're interested in connecting with me, you can do so by my Twitter is actually in the description. That's at CryptoTuber, and I'm always interested in connecting with the community here on YouTube and on Twitter and across all these different social media platforms. And I'm looking forward to branching out to platforms like DTube and Steemit and so forth, and especially once Tron really gets up and running. I think in the long term, this cryptocurrency vision of the internet is really going to face off against the sort of old guard media. Now, I know today we're seeing a lot of red, and it's in contrast to the past couple of days, or the past couple of weeks even, we were seeing a lot of green. But one of the fundamental things that it's important to pay attention to is the fact that Bitcoin is still at that $8,800 mark. So there is a shred of confidence there. Now, I understand that a lot of people were getting their hopes up, probably seeing the recent upward trajectory that we were seeing as far as the total market cap. And hey, that's a pretty nice upward movement, if I do say so myself. Now, is this the end all be all and everything's going to be hunky-dory from here on out? No, it's not going to happen the way that it looks. Obviously, we're going to see days when things are down, and we're going to see days when things are up, and that's basically what we signed up for when we got involved with cryptocurrency. And any of us who have been involved with crypto for any amount of time, for any amount of years, you understand the nature of crypto and volatility and all that. And yeah, there's a lot of different things that need to happen. There's a lot of variables that need to come into play, but I'm definitely confident in the long term when it comes to cryptocurrency, because it's basically like it's like back in the day when everybody was using newspapers and they thought that the internet would never take over. They thought that the future was going, and that's the tendency of the public, is to get distracted by the way that things are currently operating, and it's basically the dreamers like us who are able to envision what the future is going to be looking like in the future. And it's going to be a completely different future from the current world we're living in right now, with the Internet of Things and all these different variables coming into alignment to basically amount to a really significant shift in the paradigm. And we've talked about the paradigm shift before on this channel, and all the different variables that are going to shift along with it. The way that the public perceives their data is shifting rapidly. You look in the news right now, and that's one of the fundamental things that's been happening with Facebook in the media lately, is the way that people perceived their data back in 2008, 2009 is way different in contrast to the way that people are perceiving it 9 years later. In 2018, people are more conscious of their data, and it's only going to get more and more along those lines. We're going to see more building of people paying attention to how their data is being used, and paying attention to the platforms that they're interacting on. And certainly cryptocurrency is definitely in its early stages right now. I'm not saying that it's anywhere near where it's going to be in the future, but if any technology has the potential and the community that's built around cryptocurrency. Now, when I operate this YouTube channel, I'm confident that that some of the smartest and most educated people in the world are on this YouTube channel right now watching this video. Pat yourselves on the back, everybody, because you guys are some of the smartest people out on the planet right now. And you know, it's definitely an honor to have this opportunity to share and actually be talking about cryptocurrencies with this awesome community that we've built on this channel, because moving forward, it's definitely interesting to be having this opportunity to share opinions with everybody else in regards to this community. So definitely take advantage of the community that we've built on this channel and so forth. That's why I'm always saying follow me on Twitter and so forth, so that we can all share information regarding these technologies, because we really are in such an early stage of this development that it's really amazing to see all the potential that's in store for these technologies, because they have so many different levels of society that they have the potential to be interacting with and so forth. And replacing the services like Google and so forth are no easy job. It's going to take a very long time, but also everything is sort sort of compressed nowadays, so it's not going to take too long. But in the world of cryptocurrency, things tend to move much faster, and in one day we could see months worth of progress happen in cryptocurrency. So when I say it's going to take a long time, I mean every inch that we gain is moving us ultimately closer to the inevitable, which is going to be cryptocurrency having its place in multiple levels of society. And so I'm definitely interested in seeing the ways that Tron and so forth are going to be interacting with the world and so forth. And I definitely have faith for these decentralized platforms. The future is decentralized. That's fundamentally what I'm working with here, and that's really our only hope. The only hope for freedom of speech on the internet. I'm not going to say that cryptocurrency is the only hope, because even that is sort of a wash, because the establishment is eventually going to get its foot all the way through the door when it comes to its interactions with cryptocurrency, and we're going to see it mirroring a lot of the activities that we're seeing happen with the establishment right now. I don't like to say this, but it's fundamentally true that overall absolute power corrupts absolutely. You understand that old saying exists for a reason. So it's up to basically the people who value freedom of speech on the internet and the freedom to interact with different, because we are entering in the midst of this paradigm shift that's happening. There is a blink of an opportunity for those of us who believe in the values of freedom of speech and so forth, and who want to operate on platforms that actually allow for the content creators to speak their minds and share information that's valid information and so forth. There is an opportunity for that, and that's fundamentally one of the things that I'm most passionate about when it comes to cryptocurrency, is the fact that these platforms and so forth are operating at such a way that's basically providing us with this all the progress that's been made by the generations that have been leading up to this. It's definitely a huge I mean, it's a paradigm shift. So, and it's going to be happening on all levels of society as we continue to move forward, especially in this next period of 6 years, around 2020. It's a huge development point for cryptocurrency as these technologies continue to come into their own, but alongside that, it's also a cultural shift. There's so many different things happening. You can imagine how different the media operates in today's day and age as opposed to 2 years ago, and in such a short amount of time we've seen a complete overhaul of the political system and the ways that our society operates, and a lot of the fundamental variables that come into a person's mind when looking at these technologies and understanding how they're going to have a fundamental impact on the future. So when I look at a technology like Tron, I do have a glimmer of hope in regards to the future that's in store for the technology, and I think that there's a logical point to be made in regards to the potential that's in store for Tron, especially if unfolded appropriately. This decentralized concept is going to be a huge variable change in regards to the developments that we're witnessing happening, unfolding in front of us currently in this date and time period in regards to cryptocurrency as a whole. So it is definitely an interesting time, historic as a matter of fact, and I don't say that lightly. There's a lot of different variables that are clashing at this point, and I'm sure years from now historians are going to look back at these times and probably Kyle White, I'm not your dad, so don't call me your dad. I'm just kidding, but no, I'm serious. I'm not your dad. But all that being said, oh yeah, and now that actually reminds me, quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your dad. I'm not responsible for any decision you may or may not make regarding any of these technologies, including Tron. But all that being said, in my opinion, you know my opinion. I definitely think that there's a lot of potential in store for these technologies, and even if we see the market cap go back down to 300 billion, 250 billion. Now, I know this sounds like a nightmare to a lot of people out there, but I'm just saying the technology is there. And for those of us who've done our research, we're all pretty much on the same page in regards to the really the momentum that's been building up in regards to these technologies and moving forward and seeing the potential as it unfolds in real time. That's one of the other great things with cryptocurrency, is that we get to see these variables coming into alignment in real time. I mean, looking at the different news articles regarding TRON, I mean, the Global Coin Report's been known to release a multitude of articles from all different perspectives regarding TRON. I know a lot of these news articles are just trying to get they're just trying to get ad revenue, you know, clickbait, and just so that they can make money. Their interests are not necessarily aligned with providing us with quality information. However, I do see these news articles as an indication of the public consciousness, and that being said, they definitely are a way of understanding how these technologies are going, well, how they're currently operating within the realm of the public space, and how people are basically so as far as it's definitely positive in regards to a lot of the way that we see things unfolding right now. And yeah, I think China is going to be playing a huge role in the development of these technologies. I think as we see the way that the different governmental entities of the world have been operating as of lately, there are a few positive signs in regards to the transformative possibilities that are made available through the application of cryptocurrency, and the different possibilities with all moving forward. And I'm actually including a link to this video by Crypto Busy, and this video is actually, I already put the link down in the description, and he makes an interesting, valid point regarding a lot of the different variables that we've already covered in this content. But he also goes into detail regarding the potential for TRON to be reaching $1, which is very exciting. And I would say that we are going to have to wait until around June to actually see where the momentum could take TRON. I think, I mean, personally, my understanding of TRON is fundamentally data driven. By now, you already know me. I fundamentally like to look at the data analytical side of things, and fundamentally, I think that that the team that's working on TRON is definitely a winning team. I have a lot of faith in Justin Sun. I think his vision of the decentralized web is going to be a real revolutionary thing as we continue to move forward in respect to cryptocurrency. So all that being said, I hope that you guys follow me on Twitter and so forth. I mean, it is amazing. It is very evident to see the different things. I mean, you just look at what happened with Kanye West lately. I mean, this GIF is amazing. He loses 10 million followers on Twitter in 1 second. And if this isn't evidence of the censorship that's been happening on these platforms, then I don't really know what else is. Some guy like Kanye West, he's a big public figure, makes a bunch of tweets, and then all of a sudden we see him losing 10 million subscribers. And now, I mean, it's amazing, and you could tell that it's algorithmically manipulated, because it says he's got 27 million, because there's no way he's organically losing 10 million followers. It's clearly being influenced from the higher ups. I mean, I hate to say it, and I hate to go into conspiracy land and so forth, but I mean, you just take one good solid look at and I have this this GIF available on my Twitter, so if you guys want to go visit my Twitter, it's the GIF is right here. But I mean, it clearly shows he loses 10 million subs, well, whatever, 10 million followers on Twitter in 1 second. If they can deplatform Kanye West, they can pretty much shut any of us off, and they do. So this is another fundamental point in regards to the decentralized decentralized web. And I mean, I have to say that I have to say that I have to give some degree of respect to Kanye in the point of his. I mean, I believe he was tweeting out earlier that he supports a decentralized web as well. So there's definitely a lot to be said in regards to a lot of the things that are happening in regards to the public consciousness, the conversations that are being had regarding cryptocurrencies and so forth. They're all very interesting developments taking place across the board. And I just like to thank everybody who's joined in as new subscribers to this channel. We've recently reached 17,000. I don't really care how many subscribers we have on this channel. For me, it's about it's about the people who are here right now. For me, my priority is the 97 people who are watching this video right now. And I mean, I definitely appreciate every single one of the subscribers on this channel, but fundamentally, it's the people who are active and engaging with the content and so forth that we have we have to stay together as a community and so forth. And I just like to thank everybody who's been engaging with the community and so forth. And but yeah, Kanye West, it is definitely very interesting to see how his reputation has been developing in regards to the way that he had I mean, he's always been sort of a maverick as in regards to a public figure. His reputation with the president of the United States has always been a little bit out of the ordinary when you consider the way that the mainstream media wants every single performer to fall in alignment, and Kanye West is more of a free thinker. So when we see the fact that I mean, it is definitely interesting to see how Kanye's been standing up for himself, and I don't mean to go on a hard fork here and start talking about Kanye West for the entire stream, but he is definitely an interesting figure as we continue to move forward, and his endorsement of the decentralized web, it does show that the mainstream media is finding it more and more difficult to ignore the problems and the solutions that the audiences around the world are pretty much well aware of at this point. So it is definitely interesting to see all these different variables. And yeah, my faith in the decentralized future of the web is definitely there. I do have a renewed confidence, as well as the way that the public consciousness has been shifting towards a conversation regarding the use of data and so forth. And I think that ultimately will lead to more attention. I mean, when you look at the spike happening here at the TRON value, I mean, it's pretty normal. Pretty much we haven't seen anything really crazy happen involving TRON lately. But all that being said, it definitely yeah, I agree with you right there. Trump is no, actually, I believe Kanye said that Trump is Kanye said that Trump is his brother, and they both have what's it called, dragon energy. Kanye West, he is a delight. I think and Chance the Rapper hopping on board with the Kanye hype now. This is what we're going to be seeing happening now in the crypto space. We're going to be seeing, well, I didn't mean to say the crypto space, I mean the public space in general. The cultural space, if you will. We're seeing because the mainstream media has positioned themselves as so anti-American now, and the public really has no choice but to wake up and smell the coffee and realize where the mainstream media's real interests lie. So celebrities like Kanye West are really capitalizing on the current situation. You could tell that he's like, oh, I can easily just side with the person who everybody hates, because, well, not everybody, but the mainstream media tries to promote you guys already know. And but when it comes down to it, it is fundamentally, I mean, not only is it entertaining, I mean, oh god, I could go into how, I mean, it's really entertaining to see the mainstream media crumble like this, but from my perspective, it's beautiful. But of course, it is also, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's part of the overall paradigm shift as it's currently happening across all levels of society. And this is going to trickle into the crypto space as well. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, all that being said, I'm definitely excited to be seeing how quickly things have been moving forward, and it's definitely blazing a trail for decentralized platforms to rise up, especially because you really can't silence the more they try to take away, like the more they algorithmically manipulate Kanye's sub count, I mean his follower count, the more that's going to send dog whistles to people all around the internet that there's a demand for new platforms. And really right now, I think Twitter's along the way to go the way of Facebook. Pretty soon we're going to see Twitter crumbling the same way that we saw Mark Zuckerberg's disaster crumbling beneath his feet. And it's a lot to, and I honestly would say that people like Kanye West and Trump are the ones who are keeping Twitter in business, because what would we even be doing on Twitter if we weren't waiting on the next tweet from Kanye? So it is definitely interesting to be seeing all these different variables as they've been coming to the surface and so forth. And I'm definitely excited to be seeing all these different variables of society, and it is all trademarks of that overall paradigm shift that I keep referencing. And yeah, so all that being said, definitely go and check out this content. I'll be including a link to this video in the description, and I hope that you have enjoyed my little talk about the current situation regarding the state of affairs when it comes to the culture, and how across the board we're seeing cryptocurrency developing alongside a rapidly advancing culture, because the day and age of people watching TV using the cable, it's coming very, very closely to an end, and every day more and more people are getting smartphones, more and more people are using their technological devices purely for the purposes of connecting to the internet. And a technology like TRON really does have the potential to rise up and take the place of platforms that have pretty much betrayed the user base. And I'm definitely excited to be seeing all these different things that are happening in the future and so forth, and in the current day and age and so forth. And like I said, I'm excited to have this great community of people who's gathered together, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a long-term supporter of TRON. Definitely excited to see where TRON is going to be moving forward and expanding themselves from this point forward. And yeah, I'm definitely excited to be and of course it is important for everybody to remember to have a positive, all smiles, right? Everybody should but remember, it's more important to have confidence than blissful ignorance. I would say you should do your research, do your analytical research in regards to these technologies, and make sure that you're not a sucker when it comes to understanding these technologies. And I think mainnet launch is very exciting, and moving forward with TRON, everything seems to be proceeding as planned, well, as expected. And yeah, definitely go and make sure Justin Sun's a really interesting content. Well, he's a good, yeah, you know who he is. I've talked about him plenty of times on here. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to be seeing these developments as they've been taking place. And all that being said, you guys, I'd just like to thank everybody for that 17K subs and so forth. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next content. Have a good one.